Hello, everyone. Sangat Astrology here, and this time to speak about the Virgo new moon. So it seems that we are in the transition period between the summer and the fall in the northern hemisphere, and between the winter and the spring in the southern hemisphere. Even though it doesn't look like it, right? In the northern hemisphere, we still have very high temperatures. A lot of heat is still in store for us for some time. So it doesn't look like we are about to enter fall or anything. However, Virgo is that sign of transition. And we have a new moon, early degrees of Virgo. It's here is the 4 degrees Virgo, 04 minutes. So today I will show you the new moon in Virgo chart, and I will discuss with you my ideas. I hope you can subscribe to my channel and follow me on social media, and also make comments, ask questions, and contact me if you'd like to take the astrology course with me, or if you like to have a reading, or if you have a simple question, right? So now I will share the Virgo new moon chart with you, so we can discuss the aspects and what it means. So now we're starting a new Virgo cycle, right? It is interesting because now we are kind of spreading the planets around the zodiac a little bit more, so we are able to find oppositions and trines, and this is kind of cool, right? Because we haven't had the chance to have trines, except for the moon, right, for a long time. And now we have already started seeing, since a couple of months ago, those larger aspects. This makes life a little bit more fluid, right? Trines are really smooth energy, and it's good to have trines sometimes instead of just oppositions and semi-squares and squares and noviles and those more karmic aspects that we have seen for a long time. But now coming into Virgo, the sun is changing gears, right? Now we are more concerned about material reality and how to organize our material reality. We are more analytical, thinking, well, I need to do this way, and this developing methods of doing things. So that's the specialty of Virgo, right? Discovering which way is the most efficient way to do things. And also we are focusing on adjusting, right, to the situation, right? Everything that happened in Taurus with the full moon, right? The new moon in Leo, the full moon in Aquarius. We had that Leo moon cycle very, very shaky, right? And we had so many I would say traumatic events around the world and also in our lives, certain people, right? So all those dramatic and drastic changes that we have experienced in the area of life occupied by Taurus, now we have the chance to assimilate and adjust to the situation, analyze the consequences, make figures, make calculations, and see how we are going to manage the situation, right? Virgo is the manager, the administrator. Virgo is the sign where we can discriminate, and see is the sign of the time of the harvest, right? At the end, very end of the summer, we start harvesting, and we start discarding what is no longer useful in the plants and keeping the fruits for storage for the winter. So Virgo is the sign when we we are adjusting to the new situation that is coming up pretty soon, in a month or so. Virgo is the caretaker, right? And the person who needs to repair things that are not working properly. Virgo is a very inclined to service. So it could be a good opportunity to serve, to be able to do things for others as a service, and charitable service as well. But we are more practical, so it is about practical service, and we need to find out a way to make things work with everything that happened. As I said, in this area, Virgo will be focusing on how we can make things work with the new events that we have experienced. Some people even lost their properties with a very traumatic events related to the climate and to the natural catastrophes, like natural and man-made as well, like fires, flooding, drought. So we are all around the world suffering an intense drought, right? For example, talking about supplies that are needed for the sustenance of life, Taurus, right? We have water scarcity, and we need to find out ways to deal with that. We need Virgo looks for adjusting to the new situation, right? What can we do in order to better manage water supplies? For example, measure the time we are under the shower, measure the time we water the plants, and measure the amount of water that we spend, for example, washing dishes. We can prepare soap and water in one container and rinse all the dishes in that, and then use another container with clean water to rinse them. And instead of using the dishwasher, for example, every day and twice a day, we can do it once every 2 days, and try to not, for example, not use so many clothes, not dirty so many dishes, so we can reduce the use of water. So there are many, many ways in which we can save, and for our own benefits, to save in expenses, right? But also being conscious about the drought that is afflicting so many parts of the world. It is important for us to change our habits, right? And Virgo is the habits, the routines, the things that we do every day. And this is a new moon that will focus on starting a new cycle And remember, it is a month cycle, but it's also a 6 months cycle until we have the full moon in Virgo. So we can set up a new program and organize ourselves in order to adjust to the new situation. The same with the energy supply, right? We in the northern hemisphere use a lot of cooling system, of course, because the temperatures are over 100 for so many days, and we don't see the end in the future pretty soon. So we are using a lot of energy to keep ourselves cool. It's the car, when you go and drive in the car, if you don't use the AC, you can die, suffocate, because it's so hot. So although I have seen people with the windows low and they are enduring the heat, well, if it is a short trip, maybe they can tolerate it. But if it is a longer trip, that will not probably be very efficient or very good idea, because it could affect your health, right? The heat is too much already in outside, and in the car is multiplied by 3 at least. So because the car retains a lot of heat and multiplies it. So Virgo is in charge of analyzing the situation and finding solutions, using common sense, using the reason, using ideas, right? And with the influence that Mercury had this past week before during the week of the 14th to the 20th, Mercury was in trine with Uranus. So we already transiting Virgo. So we already had innovative ideas that can help us now to implement a new plan. And the new moon is a good time to think about it, and then start once the moon shows a little smile in the sky. Once you see the moon, it's a good time to start your plan, your projects. So we have here the new moon in both the sun and the moon in square to Mars. So this means that we will do a lot of work, that it will be even an aggressive, impulsive need to change things, to adjust to the situations, the new situations, right? And we could be even impatient and kind of irritable, and you may have that your emotions are unstable, that you have an impulsivity to do things, and some people may throw temper tantrums. So it could be also anger that motivates us. But be careful not to be too aggressive, especially in your family. The moon is your family, is your mother, and the sun your father. So be careful not to become too aggressive, that you can worsen the situation. So it's not a good time really to deal with problems with home and home services, or problems with food. That we need to wait a little bit until the because here we have a perfect square with Mars. So we need to be careful on not being too much impulsive, aggressive, and inconsiderate with others, because the sun could be also very competitive about things, and that could be a source of confrontations and conflicts. So especially because it could be egotistic attitudes, and that could provoke even accidents, and even physical aggression. So be careful and try to deep breathe, and breathe deeply. That's what I wanted to say. And don't try to speculate too much, especially with material things. This chart is cardinal Earth, so there are lots of changes and in the material reality, in the physical reality. So try to moderate your impulsivity in order not to worsen situations, and be careful not to have any accidents. Here we also have Venus in opposition, almost perfect with Saturn. So here we have the ruler of the North Node and Uranus. The ruler is in Leo. So Venus is very sociable. In Leo, she wants to celebrate, to be happy, to be the center of attention, right? So financial matters, money matters, social matters, and also relationship desires will be center stage. However, in opposition with Saturn, it could be many restrictions. Restrictions and in expenses. For example, you will try to tighten your belt a little bit more because of the things that happened here, right? In this area of Taurus of your chart, you might have experienced some unexpected events that now you need to, especially if it is related to values, to possessions, to money and relationships. But especially Taurus is the sign of resources, of material, physical supplies that we need to sustain life. So what happens is that when Venus is opposing Saturn, there is a scarcity. There could be social restrictions, and since it is in the sign here of Aquarius, it's networks of distribution of supplies that are limited. There are many products that do not arrive due to, for example, this problem of the United States with China, and China has closed many things with the United States, for example. There is also the war, Russia against Ukraine, that is as well producing a scarcity of food around the world, and a scarcity of other supplies as well, like agrochemicals. Who miss them, right? Anyways, but other supplies like technological elements that are needed for the industries, and there's a lack of distribution because of those problems in the world. So we have here this Venus that wants to be generous and important, right? This is the money coming to center stage, and being restricted by this Saturn in Aquarius, so that is restricting society in general. So so this is also Uranus with the North Node in Taurus is the volatility of the marketplace, the volatility of the financial markets, banking, and it represents all the economic problems that the world is undergoing, right? Some governments may be people may be protesting or complaining about the government not being able to control these issues. However, the people need to realize that these economic problems are not the issue in one country or one region or one continent. These problems are global problems. Why? Because this Saturn Uranus square, last quarter square, that will be almost perfect beginning October, 6 and 7 of October. This is representing the crisis in consciousness about the cycle of Saturn and Uranus started in Sagittarius in 1988 when we started the globalization movement, right? Economy is now global. So the problems, the financial problems, are also global, and they are very serious because we have pushed this globalization, this growth, economic growth, to the maximum, to the paroxysm, when it's no longer useful, but is in fact detrimental for society, for everyone. So these, for example, inflation and the increase in prices of fuel and increases in the prices of food and everything, right, that we are experiencing now. This is not just one country, or because the government of your country is not doing anything. It's because everything is interconnected. And until everyone reconsiders, evaluates the problem and starts making the adjustments, the changes that need to be made in order to reverse this problem, there won't be a magic solution, right? We need to moderate the globalization, because pushed to that extreme, it has shown that is detrimental, that is not effective, that it doesn't work properly. So now we need to reverse and review and reconsider and prepare for the next Saturn-Uranus cycle, which will take place in Gemini. And Gemini is local. So the economy will start back local. So we need to get ready for that switch, that change from global to local. It's exactly the opposite. So we need to prepare our minds how we will supply what we need in order to survive, right? How we will do it? Well, in local markets, in neighborhood markets, right? And also in collaboration, right? Gemini is one-to-one collaboration, work together, right? In the neighborhood, the people who know each other. So this is the next Saturn-Uranus cycle. The new structures, innovative structures that will be developed in 2032, starting 2032, right? In Gemini. So this is what is going on. So don't blame your own government, because it's everyone in the world has created this situation, because we have traveled by air so much, because we have bought products and industrial production from countries that are thousands and thousands of miles away. So how can this be sustainable? It's impossible to have this sustainable. Having China provide for the whole world, and those huge ships that pile thousands of containers of merchandise, right? How can this be sustainable with travels that cost a fortune? So it's not sustainable. And we are learning with the North Node in Taurus, we're learning that we need to become independent in the production of energy, because we are in the south node in Scorpio. We are leaving behind the codependence from other countries that are not friendly, right? We just learned that we were buying energy and products and manufacture products from countries that were enemies, that now are making war against other countries. So this is unsustainable. So we need to rethink the manufacturers, the industries, the energy production, and how we will supply the materials that we need to sustain life in a different way, right? And the different way will be the Gemini style. So that's really a switch, really a change. So, and I think that's, the other thing is that Venus is in trine with Chiron here. So Venus is suggesting with Chiron is a way to heal, right? We have opportunities to heal the who we think we are, right? Aries, Chiron in Aries, and also opportunities to heal relationships, Venus, in the social situations, right? Venus in Leo, she is center stage, right? And she wants to, in relationship with Chiron, she wants to bring resolution to the wounds that we have experienced. And especially in your natal chart, the wounds would be represented by your natal Chiron. So it is a call to love oneself, to love other people, right? Especially those who are different, who have different identities, to be able to know them better and learn that they are human beings with the same human needs that everybody else has. So it is important to use this energy for healing relationships, social connections, and important love relationships as well. It's a great opportunity for healing. And with the opposition with Saturn, Venus is very serious about it. Okay, So there are other things in the chart going on, but I think that's enough for now for this moon. We are preparing to have a nice Earth trine during the month of September, when the sun is transiting the sign of Virgo, will be making a trine to Uranus and a trine to Pluto. And I will speak about this in the upcoming videos for September. Well, I wish you the best, and I hope you enjoyed my ideas about the new moon in Virgo. I absolutely love it because it's my rising sign, so it's a new start for me, and I will see what happens. What is it that I decide to do new? So happy birthday to all the Virgos there, suns in Virgo, and have a great rest of the month of August, and good ideas, develop good ideas for this new moon in Virgo. Look at the house where Virgo is located in your chart, and if you like, you can always contact me for a consultation. So I'll see you very soon. Goodbye.